All right. Good night, Mr. and Mrs. Wedderburn and Princess Ledia. Thank you so much for making time to join us. Congrats on your recent anniversary celebration. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
You're starting off the Christmas season with lots to celebrate, right? So that's really awesome.
Yeah.
Really awesome. So as I mentioned, we just wanted to chat with you today about just your experience being in a NICU and giving birth to Lydia. Talk a little bit about our interactions as a foundation and give us a little bit of feedback on how we are doing. But I'm going to let Ms. Nelson start the entire conversation, all right?
Okay. All right, so I am Nurse Claudiane Nelson Rodney, as you would know. We're probably not the first name, but yes, you would know me. And just be real with us. Tell us how you feel and feel free to add anything you want to add. So we're going to start with you telling us a little about yourselves as parents, as persons, prior to Lydia.
Oh, all right. You go first. Prior to Lydia, who is Jermaine? Who is Kimberly?
Yeah.
Always busy. Always thinking that there's not enough time for even myself. I'm always in the service industry, giving myself to others. That being, I do catering, so I'm in the restaurant business, so I'm always giving, some sort of service. And I was away when I found out that she was pregnant. And I also was cooking. And every day, as soon as I found out that every baby that passed, it changed my whole psyche. And to know, I came back and my whole life changed from that moment. Everything changed in terms of mindset. I started to fast track some things. So instead of having them on the back burner, it was more on the front because of what was pending. And so the busy life of giving to others started becoming second, because now I realized that there's going to be a little me and a little her combined, and we have no excuse to ensure that she's okay. So everything had changed, and that's all I can say for now. I'll let her talk.
Okay.
All right, just a little bit about myself and us. So we have been married, yesterday, 8 years.
Wow.
Which person?
So
8 years. But then, persons would want to know, so long when it takes to have children, but then there's always a story behind it. It has been like a roller coaster journey in terms of like just hoping and praying for the fruit of the womb.
Yes.
I did not have any, underlying issue per se, but then I just put this out there that polycystic ovarian syndrome was, something that I had to deal with, but nothing, like a person would say, but you don't have the symptoms, what is expected. But then when I heard of that aspect of possible infertility, I had that to deal with. And just thinking about, yes, life is not just about going to work and, because I've been employed to the public sector for over 10 years and you're married and you're looking forward to the next part of marriage. But then I reached a point where I said, God, whatever. Literally, I said, whatever. And I remember I was feeling so much pain one day and I thought it was just mere cramps. I said, okay. I said, all right, I need to go to the doctor to just find out if, my ovaries, because I normally check ovaries, check breasts, I have polycystic breasts. I had to remove a little cyst, say a whole, you're doing a whole, of yourself as a woman, right? And it's that's when the doctor, first of all, he said to me, let's just do a pregnancy test. 2 weeks has gone. I said, not necessary. I've been through these 6 weeks, and I've normally had I have regular menses. So that's why would want, you're not one of the persons who would have this roller coaster menstrual cycle. But that was special, because when it was done, he was surprised. And I said to him, you have to show me that on ultrasound. I came here for ultrasound. So, and when he showed me, he said, there it is. So there and then, you remember where I said, God, whatever. So I think at my point of whatever, I did not happen. That was the last, yes. So we are grateful, two individuals, you have your own goals, but then when you come together, there's something that you look forward to as a couple, and one of that goal is expanding your family, to be real. Yeah. So, right.
Okay, now that you have let us in on who you were before, you're going to walk us through how was the pregnancy up until Lydia's arrival.
Oh, so you want your pinpoint me now, right? This is mommy's part.
Well, that's mommy's part, but in mommy's part, Daddy always has a part to play as well. So we want to hear from both of you. So Daddy can tell us his perspective, and you can go ahead with your perspective on what you were going through and leading up to the moment when she actually came.
Okay, all right. So where do I begin? I started off with the whole ultrasound aspect of it. So prior to the pregnancy, though, I was making efforts. I was exercising. I was eating. So folic acid, all sorts of something. It's like you're preparing yourself, right? Ready in the hope that, because remember what I was addressing was the whole polycystic aspect. So I need my health to be. But it's like God would have it that in addressing that, I'm preparing the path for the pregnancy.
Baby, yes.
I found out the day after Father's Day that I was pregnant, and I told him, So that was June 2021.
Let me pause there for a second. So this was late evening, like probably after 10. And while I was on the phone with her, she was saying to me like, guess what? It was something like that. And I couldn't guess that in particular, that would be the last thing on my mind.
Yeah.
And when she said it, I paused for a while, and like all the ideas and bubbles in my head, they started popping, personal wants, like I want a new computer, I want this, I want that. Everything just started popping, like I'm like, okay, that's not important anymore. And where I was, a lot of families frequent that area, so I started seeing more babies, even though they were existing before. They just started popping up, like when you get a new car and everywhere you drive, you see the car.
Yes.
So everywhere I went, I saw a baby. So that was my first reaction.
So thanks for that. I'm happy he said that, because I need to put this in. He was not here for the first trimester.
Oh my.
So, yes, he was not here until about September. And Lydia was born in November.
Okay.
But it was okay. No vomiting, but I was really woozy. I was very lightheaded. I feel very weak. I couldn't think straight. Thank God for work from home, because there were days where I just needed to sleep, and I was just grateful. I just got up, did the bare minimum. Government work, you have to clock in, and then that was it. So I can't say that I had a rough pregnancy, but it was scary in the sense that you read about certain things, but you see when the tire hits the road,
Mhm.
When we read up, when you say, boy, your blood, and in terms of the pumping of the blood and building of the placenta, so I started to feel, you feel nervy, and you say, boy, it case like I can feel the blood rushing through your body going down to where it needs to go. So it was just a whole new feeling, but then I tried to be as relaxed as possible because I said, this is the first time, I don't know what to expect. Then it came down to a point where I started to feel a lot of cramps. I said, no, man, it's not supposed to feel so crampy. I'm not supposed to feel like my menses is about to, come or something like that. There were concerns at about week 20. So she was born at 26 weeks. I have it at 25 and 6.
Mhm.
It was recorded at 26. So I still consider it to be 25, but she was just right on the brink of the 26.
Yeah.
At week 20, I experienced something that brought a scare to me. When I observed what was happening, I said, no, why does this look like a mucus plug? When I researched it, it was saying, boy, this thing will happen and then it probably will build back and a lot of stuff. But I went to do my checks. When I went to the doctor, everything was fine. Doctor not seeing what I see,
Based
checking
on ultrasound.
based on ultrasound, baby heartbeat.
Mhm.
I wants to know, baby is fine, mommy is fine, blood pressure okay, all of that. That's week 20. But week 23, going into 24, I started just, I would even say spotting, just slight, but then checking, everything was fine just the same. And then just a few days before she was actually born, I remember we took a picture. I wanted to do, because persons were asking me, you're taking pictures as the weeks progress, standing near the wall and all of that. I remember the Tuesday, November 2nd, he said to me, come and take a picture, right? And I took the picture. It is the only full picture
Oh my
of
gosh.
Lindsay Belly, because she was born exactly 1 week
After.
So it, as I said, it was scary because I remember the Sunday, my neighbor asked me to help him with there's this government thing that you file for to get the $10,000, and I was there helping him, I was the grant, and I was in so much pain the Sunday, and by the Monday, I got off the bed, and my mom was not liking how I was moving because I couldn't move, so I was bleeding, and my back felt like somebody was sitting in there, so I was feeling pressure, and I couldn't walk properly, and we said, all right, this is an emergency. I called after I was overseas because he just saw me 1 week ago and gave me 4 weeks. You should be fine.
Yeah.
And it's an emergency. Dr. Charmaine Mitchell had a slot for 1 p.m. and we had to head there at 1 p.m. She saw me, and when she saw me, she said, Mommy, I am feeling fetal part. So I started crying. I said, what fetal part? She said, I don't know if it's a hand or a foot, but I'm feeling fetal part. And then she called the doctor and she said, I'm sending a patient. This baby is coming. That was for me. This baby is coming. And all I know, there was an injection going in my arm. And I was told not to cry because if I cry, this would bring down my baby. So that sums up my journey from July to November 9. And then thereafter, she was in your care.
Right. Wow.
Daddy, what was it like that day?
That day I wasn't even around. I was at our home doing some improvement, like with a welder. And only to get a call, and I was like, repeat that. And she said, I'm heading to the hospital. And I paused, like everything around me just stood still, and then I braced for a little while, pray about it. And then I told the welder that, hey, we have to pack up. He said, is what? And I said, wife rushing to the hospital. No. So all of this don't really matter, And then and there, I realized what priority is and what is important now. What we were doing was important for that time. But when I get called, it's like it never really mattered, and was there in the car. He was driving and it's like he was going very slow, yet he was going like 120.
You're moving fast.
Yeah, in my head, I'm like, we don't reach it, you know. And
Oh my God.
I got a call, and her mother was saying that, hey, there's a suitcase in her closet, and it has everything. I was like, she's prepared already, and you know, so she has an emergency stash, back packed already and everything, and so I never had to rush to find all kind of stuff, you know.
Thumbs up.
Of course.
Thumbs up to mommy, because
Yeah.
I was with stack my bag at about 7 months thereabout, you know. Has her thing together, so I'm really grateful for that.
So I mean, from there we were, the welder dropped me off. I got my vehicle and I was heading up. I think her mother was on the way already, and it was my sister who took her, and she didn't even tell her what the doctor had said to her, because her personality would be frantic.
Yeah, I never told her that the baby was coming. I just said, okay, we need to go to you.
So she was driving and what was really happening.
I couldn't say that. So she said, it's just the other day, she said, so why you never asked her? She said, a good thing you never tell me. So, yeah.
Yes.
So, all right, we know that Lydia was now born at 26 weeks. So when you realized that it was 26 weeks and you had so much time left to go, how did you feel about that? What were your thoughts on premature babies prior to being in the situation?
I just heard about, you see stories, and, you're always fascinated by miraculous stories, and you're like, okay, this is awesome, and you're happy for those who, pull through. But to say you zoom in on prematurity, no. And it's not just prematurity, because every time I think about it, I say it's not just preemie. Because to think about preemie, I think about probably 28 weeks, 32 going up, not 26 weeks. So I remember when I was on the bed and the pediatrician would come, pediatrician, right? Came to my bedside. She was not born as yet. They would come and tell me what is happening, because obviously the baby is going to come. So I remember we asked, what are the chances? And right in front of me, we were told, 50.
The outlook wasn't,
it
was factual, but I mean, we were like, okay.
Yeah, like there's a possibility.
So is there any hope?
Right. And she was just being real, and I started to cry, and he said, just be positive. So I said, all right. But then to know that at 26 weeks, because I've been reading up, I said, but she not done for me. There's just so much that needs to happen. How she going to look, all the finger on the eye, and if she's going to be one piece. And then I remember the first time, I know I don't want to jump the gun, but I remember the first time I saw her, I said perfection. I knew why I perfect. She was like this. But then I could have seen every detail, the skin was the thing, but the fingers and the toes, I must say, is all of that form already? Like, shit, so yeah, everything, but then you started to wonder if internally everything fused, so you had more concerns, and the tears, I can tell you, up to this day, yes, tears of gratitude, but I tell you, tears were my food. Smile, thank God for the mask. But I would send him in first to see what was happening, and then I would come out. So, thank God for support, persons who pray for you, persons who check in, persons who give a little book for say my NICU journey every day. You're right. He would be typing up, doctor's talking, and him just typing. So you ask him, how is Lydia? Ask him. Hard notes.
Hard notes, like every time I got updates, I would type it in the phone in the notepad.
Yeah.
So that I don't ask rhetorical questions like asking the same question over and over. Yeah. So I myself what was the latest thing, so I can do a follow-up to ask about what was the last.
Right. Right.
Daddy, that first time you saw her, take us through that
All right, the
feeling
first
that
time I saw her was the first time I saw her was in the incubator in that blue sack, that bag that they put over her body to protect.
the warmer, yes.
Yeah, and they were pumping. They were doing some pumping action, and I was just nervous. I mean, I had company around me, but I was just nervous and wondering, God, this gonna work out? Like, what's gonna happen from here? You know, I never know what to expect from there, but all the nurse had said to me was, Daddy, pray, Daddy, pray. We need Pampers, we need XYZ. It was just down to business same time. And creating the elevator, and then I was like, what just happened? Why just, you know? And it took a while, and then eventually we went down. I went down to the NICU, and I got to see her again when they clean her up some more. I was like, wow, you know. Her head was small, like a tennis ball. I was like, she gonna survive? Just I don't want no nothing else. She's gonna live. The nurse said to me, Daddy, we have to just take it one step at a time. 1 minute, 1 hour, you know. We can't take it every day. We have to just take it one step at a time, you know. And she was like, just trust, just pray, you know. But she need positive energy and all of that. And it was just one step at a time for us, one step at a time. And I got to take some pictures, which is what Kim had seen on the bed. Because as soon as she regained consciousness, she's like, how is the baby?
Yeah.
Saw her on the phone for the first time, and I said, wow, she's so big on the phone.
Yeah, because I zoomed in, so she looked way bigger than, you know.
Okay, so when Daddy came, I was that nurse, 1. And 2, I remember the presenting part that you were speaking of earlier was the foot, right? Correct?
Presenting.
Yeah, so when mommy went to the doctor and the doctor said they felt a limb, presenting part of the baby.
The hand.
Her arm, actually.
It was the hand. Because the arm was black.
Yeah, man, the arm was
dark.
So
that was the first complication you experienced in the NICU, right? So starting there, what other complications you experienced and what was it like going through each of them, the journey throughout the NICU?
Oh, the observations, like what we were took with.
So first you had to get the tube for the breathing, the vent.
And then let's just see that the everything get for her. That's the first thing we signed for. Oh my gosh, signing those papers to say okay, yes.
The consent papers
for her lung, the
surfactant,
and the blood transfusion.
Yeah.
Then there was the
light,
the blue lights for
the jaundice.
Yeah. And so you're used to seeing her face, and then her face is wrapped up now with the bandage to protect her eyes, and all we could see is just the hands and the foot, you know, and she was propped up on like sheet, like almost like a pillowcase, wrapped up, you know, to prop her up and things, and all of the cables for the what's that now?
The monitor here,
for oxygen and all of that, you know.
Yeah.
Beep, beep, beep. I could just, when I leave, I still hearing it. Beep, beep, beep.
I can imagine. Yes.
Like at times you'd hear them racing, or you hear a high pitch one, and you're like, what's wrong now? What's wrong now? You know?
And then you see a nurse coming and say, no, that's fine. I turn off something. You're like, okay.
Yeah. Sense of everything. What was unique though was the whole process of the hygiene. I learned a lot where the hygiene was concerned. Where I mean, COVID never teach us enough. NICU taught us.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is key. That saves lives.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what was a complication? What was a complication that happened that stood out to you the most? Like, what would you say that's the worst thing that happened to Lydia while she was there, and it kind of pulled you up? It was theory. What stood out to you?
More down.
Mm.
Give me a second.
Yeah,
Sure.
the dropping speed, those moments were scary. Yeah.
For me, it was the breathing, the collapsing of the lungs. Yeah, and to resuscitate.
There was one time when, based on what was said, well, or can you translate for us, please? Because you know all the medical terms. Like, okay,
say in your best words.
Baby Wedderburns, da 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 da. You hear this cardian, that cardian, you know. So then you realize, as he said, the lungs collapsing of the lungs there, and the breathing challenges, and then with the HB dropping, that doubled up, and then you get some calls in the middle of the night with a 2:30, 1:30 to say, boy, baby needs blood, and we need to get a match, and those moments are scary for me because that resulted in the most phone calls. Because we reached a point where we actually said, but we signed for anything she needs, give her. And they're like, no, we called, sorry.
Yeah.
So they had to call us. And we kept saying, but we signed already. They said no. And they keep repeating, doctors, they were repeating the same steps. And I was like, all right, do whatever you need. And we appreciated it. The calls came early morning, but, it had to happen. So,
well, you have to be in the know. You have to be in the know. So each step, we want to ensure that you don't come and say, but
yes.
So it's just information, keeping you in the know each step of the journey, that you're aware of everything that's happening, good and bad. So when you come, you get your good updates, but we'll have to call you between visiting time to, update and see what was happening. So thank you for your experience. Is there anything else that you'd like to add that I didn't ask or we didn't get to cover about your journey there at the NICU?
From she leave the hospital, I haven't gone into the phone to actually check on the notes, and I'm surprised that it's still there. Everything that was requested or asked for, I had to jot it down, and it's just amazing what doctors and nurses have to go through on a daily basis, and a lot of persons take that for granted, thinking that it's just another job. But even though you have quote unquote good times and bad times and hard times, and I mean, you guys dealing with lives and people don't really value all of that. And I mean, even though you have the sad times, it's like the good overshadow those moments. And I wish more persons would actually know what you guys go through on a day-to-day basis, and know the decisions that you have to make on their behalf. And I mean, the decision that was made for Lydia actually changed our life, our family life, everything. I mean, so many persons are impacted based on her miracle. I mean, even her name means miracle.
Oh, wow.
So
that's perfect.
It's like, you don't know what you guys do for us. I mean, which show with the different things that we did along the way, but words can't say it. But we really give thanks, and I mean, you guys are awesome. You're like earthly angels, basically.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you
so much. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Just want to say that that's what made the experience a little bit more what you say now. You were able to deal with it a little better because you know that every day all you have is 1 hour. You leave your house and you go into another setting where behind those doors there's a lot going on. I call it a whole different world. The person on the outside, those who were not able to go inside. And they don't understand, they don't know, they can only imagine, you know, based on your explanation. But I'm there sometime in the days and I'm observing what is happening. I'm gonna say, boy, oh no good. That's all. Sometimes I have to be there, I say, God, do just give strength. It's not easy, you know. There are times when, as Jay would mention, there are sad days. You know, you're in the selfie, there are sad days, and there are days when I'm in there, I'm crying. Because I see what's happening to somebody else. We don't know what they have to live there. And the experience itself, you know, cause you to draw closer to others, cause you to just appreciate, you know, the medical fraternity, just everything that you do. And I know it's not easy, but we are grateful for the support and the advice and just the care. You know, as the name says, caring for miracles is really miracle. And it takes to care, you know, it takes much to care, and we are grateful that we are beneficiaries of that care, because God would have it that you know, he says strategically placed in this season, you know, and we are grateful. I heard something on the news yesterday about the surgical run, and Dr. I think it was Dr. Bruce, he was just saying, you know, the pediatric benefit. Same time I started smiling and I said, boy, it looks like we have to go run surgical this year. You know, run, you know, but there's just this joy because you're in it. So because you're in it, no, understand.
Yes.
And you can't really blame persons. They say, you feels it, knows it.
Yes.
So that's where we're at, because you feel it and you know it and you understand. The other day I even got a purple shirt from work, one of the subdivisions. And I said, yeah, I like purple, but then I said, boy, you know, premier color is purple.
Yes.
So it's just a whole different, your focus is now shifted.
Mm-hmm.
It's just something to really, you're humbled and you're grateful. It started scary and yet you still have scary moments because she's special, you know, but then she is not short of anything, you know, she is our own little person. And we're grateful for all the milestones, you know, because right now she's tearing down the whole place.
That's a good thing.
Tearing down the whole place. Can't leave her because she's crawling off the bed now. So.
Okay. Oh dear.
Any advice? Pardon?
I would say pay attention to the little things, not just the baby, just the different stages that take place, you know, because a lot of them only happen once.
Yes.
I get to see her with the Luna here. Yeah, I mean, a lot of person will not see that. Seeing her without eyebrow, without nipple, you know, little things like that we take for granted. Regular breathing, the steps that she had to go through, from what's that, ventilator to CPAP, then to just oxygen, oxygen in the nostril, then oxygen in the incubator. Even remembering, you guys allowed us to have a Christmas, taking picture, you know, to the point of feeding, to the point of actually changing, you know. So everything meant a whole lot, you know. So I don't regret anything. I don't regret nothing at all, you know. So the advice is just to take it one step at a time, and the little things matter, you know.
Yes. And that is so true of life in general.
Yeah.
The little matter. Thank you.
They
Thank
all
you
add up for big moments.
Yes, absolutely. And there are miracles in every little moment, you know?
Every moment.
Yes. Thank you for sharing. That's really beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. So you'd already, I was going to ask, what was your first encounter with Caring for Miracles? But you've already told us. It's when we did the family Christmas photo shoot. You're very supportive of the organization. We know that you're one of our biggest cheerleaders. Can you tell us why?
All right, for me, I wanted to adapt something for change. So I was interested in, like, whether it's a boys' home or a girls' home, but then this impacted me on a different level. And to know that there are a lot of persons going through this, and we did not know about this, or I did not know about this side of the world in terms of people going through this kind of thing. And just the other day, I went to preemie clinic, and we saw a lady with a preemie baby. And I remember the days when we went with Lydia and we were looking on bigger babies, and when is she gonna reach there and so forth. And I was saying to him, you know, we need to talk to her, we need to encourage her. And she was passing us, and we stop her and saying, hey, you know, she's coming from that stage. She's like, really? Yeah. You never know that just saying that would make her day, you know, and give her hope, because baby was tiny. I think she was born 28 weeks, but
24 or 25. So smaller, yeah.
Okay. So she was doing well, but there's that look on the face, like I hope she, yeah. So as little as it is, like Pampers or anything, I remember we given the Pampers that she would have needed.
The micro preemie.
Yes. And to know how small it is, and yet how important it is.
Yeah.
You know, what we got for her was this wide one, you know, and to know that somebody can benefit from what we never had meant a lot to us, you know. And it's just because of like shipping constraints and so forth that didn't push us to get more like that. But trust me, the little things, as I say, the little things matter. And to know different steps that you go through, it's encouraging to have probably, I don't know if you guys can put up like a section that people show pictures, like different stages, so that we can say, hey, look, this baby went through it, so your baby can go through it, you know, something, because
that's in the plan.
It's in the making.
It's for somebody who is just going through it for the first time, you know, and they don't, sometimes they don't have somebody there to do research on their behalf, or don't even have the willpower to Google it or to YouTube it or whatever, and they're just depending on who is around when they get there, you know, afraid to ask questions, afraid to touch, you know, things like that. So, but Kim?
I just want to add, as I stated before, we got front row seats to the Premier World. You know, it's nothing that we really planned for. And a lot of things in life you don't plan for. You just get pushed into this arena and you have to deal with it. And all I look at is just, I consider it a humbling experience just to see her where she's at right now. She's truly a miracle. And we consider it an honor to have, you know, the foundation where, yes, it's an avenue, but then there are bigger and better things to happen with the foundation. This is just but then person just want a platform. She said, there is no way I can contribute, it will happen, you know. Being cheerleaders, I think it comes naturally because of the experience. Is have a crank up to say, oh, I'm going to support.
And you get a new family.
You get a new family, because we're always talking about that. And the parents, now you still talk like Safia and Lydia, you know. You get a whole new family that you never planned for. So it's just natural to become cheerleaders. I think you just fall right in. You're not working too hard. You just see somebody or see families going through the same experience, and at the end of the day, we have something in common, you know. So
yes,
it's a good, and we just bring the best, you know, bigger and better, and
thank you.
Direction of you guys when we do carry around.
Person, yes, and I can tell, we can just add that we look forward. Hospital is not somewhere where people like to go, but whenever we dress up to take Lydia to the hospital, we look forward to taking her there, because the reaction you all.
Yes, from the security, everybody
from
know
the security
her. Everybody
to the nurses, so it is It is heartwarming. So don't just think
The
with us.
party.
Yes.
Some people don't treat the spirit is, good.
They're like it's a regard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that they just step past them, but we
had a relationship.
yeah.
So even that, so we really appreciate even just questions, from you all. It helps with the positive energy.
It fills our heart. So that reaction is genuine. She really does fill our heart.
Yes.
And then the last thing before I let you go was, why should anybody support the Caring for Miracles Foundation?
Why should anybody support?
Why should anybody support? Why should anybody not support? From you have a genuine heart of love and care of life. I mean, a lot of persons who are around. I remember somebody who was beside me at the what's that, the delivery ward. The guy beside me, he was a father expecting, and he was saying to me that, I was a preemie. And I said, for real? Like, I never know that there was like a stage after the baby, like my mind was limited. My mother-in-law was a preemie.
Mm-hmm.
The security guard.
The security guard had
everybody
a
was like, okay, we had a preemie.
Wow.
Yeah. So that gave us encouragement, and to know that there were other parents who were experiencing it for the very first time. It just gave us hope, and then the connection. So it's just the feeling, what it feels like connecting. So if you don't have a genuine heart towards that kind of thing, I mean, it's not going to come natural, but for some reason to give, I think giving back to children who like they are neutral in terms of how they react and all of that, that's the best thing.
Yeah.
But the big no who we turn around and cuss you off or something or treat you bad, it's a total different feeling.
Yes.
Different feeling. So
yeah, I'm keeping my peace. Support, everybody, nobody's an island, you always say, yes, it takes cash to care, and we're not going to put that, aside. It takes cash it takes so much to care, it takes your time, your effort, your ideas, your creativity, all the energy together. So persons should just support, so that the work can continue. And as I said, bigger and better. And the more is on board is, the more synergies and the more you get things going like a well-oiled machine. So we're just looking forward for bigger and better things. We're probably on the platform one day to say, oh, look at our 1 pounder. She's now,
Absolutely. We would welcome that.
Right. So to this day, persons, when you say 1 pound, like a pound of flour, yes, like a pound.
And some videos that can really prove
it, right?
Yeah.
Only when they see the finger, like a little
because I
beside
had a
her
finger
leg.
beside her foot.
Her whole
It was,
So yeah, man, just support you can, however you can, and just watch the fruits of
and I think sometimes people think that giving back is something great, like you need to give hundreds of thousands or you need to give $1 million. Sometimes it's just a pack of Pampers or
Yes.
like one of these
simple.
Every little bit counts.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
The growth.
This was the first one would have been
the micro preemie. Yes.
So even that. Yeah.
Every little bit counts. Thank you so much for taking time to sharing time and space with us in this way. It's beautiful as always being in your company. God bless both. Bless Princess Miracle. Yes, ma'am. You know your name. And thank you so very much. God bless. Yes, Mama.
Bye.
Hi, Princess.
Bye.
Hi, Princess. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us. It was a